First thing, put down the wrench.
Uh-oh.
No, seriously, put it down, because if you just start turning bolts on the unit we're looking at today, you're going to be chasing your tail for 6 hours.
Okay. Wrenches are down.
We are stepping onto the service floor with a unit that has gone completely silent. The cargo's at risk, the driver's pacing, and the display is flashing a shutdown alarm. We are talking about alarm code 24.
Alarm code 24. Yeah, that's the heating cycle fault. And you're right, the mood definitely changes in the shop when that one comes up.
It does.
It's not just a warning light. I mean, the unit has quit. It's a hard shutdown.
It's the game over light. So for this deep dive, let's try something a little different. I'm going to be the senior tech, like the guy who's been doing this for 20 years.
Okay.
And you're the new hire. You're the trainee. You've got the book smarts. You know the manual, but you haven't seen the weird stuff yet.
Okay, I can do that. I've got my freshly pressed uniform, my multimeters calibrated. I'm ready.
Good. Because our mission today isn't just to clear the code. Anyone can do that.
Right. We need to understand why this machine decided to, well, basically commit suicide to protect the cargo. So, trainee, walk me through the basics. What's the unit actually screaming about when it flashes code 24?
Well, the manual says code 24 is a failure in the heating cycle. Specifically, the unit is in heat mode, but it's detecting a cooling temperature differential.
A cooling delta T.
Yeah, a cooling delta T.
Okay, break that down for me. Cooling delta T in heat mode.
Yeah.
What does that actually look like to the microprocessor?
It sounds like an identity crisis. The unit's logic is switched to heat. It expects hot gas to flow, But the sensors, the return and discharge sensors, they're reporting that the temperature is actually dropping, or at least that the air leaving the unit is colder than the air coming in.
Exactly. The brain says heat, but the body's doing cool. And the logic here is just self-preservation. The unit thinks, look, I'm trying to warm this stuff up, but the data says I'm freezing it. So if I keep running, I'm going to ruin the load.
So I'm stopping. Right now. It's aggressive.
It is. It's interesting that it shuts down so hard. Usually there's a warning first, right? I'm thinking of alarm code 22.
You're on the right track.
Okay.
In a perfect world, yes. Alarm code 22 is the heating cycle check. It's the warning shot.
The yellow light.
It's the unit saying, hey, I'm having a little trouble here. You might want to look at this. Typically, code 24 is the escalation. You ignore the 22, the problem gets worse, and boom, it graduates to a 24.
So it's a progression of failure. Warning, then shut down.
Usually. But, and this is where the book smarts meet the real world, there are scenarios where code 24 just hits you out of nowhere.
With no warning. No code 22.
Just straight to shut down. Can you guess when that might happen?
Well, I'd guess during a pre-trip test.
Yeah.
The system's under a microscope then.
That's one. Yep. During a pre-trip, it's pass or fail. There's no check me later. If the heating cycle fails that test, it throws code 24 immediately. But there's another one that catches a lot of techs off guard. It has to do with how the customer configured the unit.
You mean the restart setting?
Bingo. Restart's disabled.
I've seen that in the menu. If restarts are set to disabled, the unit isn't allowed to try and, self-correct.
It changes the entire philosophy of the machine. If restarts are enabled, the unit might shut down, wait a minute, and try to fire up again. It fights to stay alive. But if a fleet manager sets restarts to disabled...
They're telling the machine zero tolerance for error.
Exactly. So on the very first glitch, the first time it senses that cooling differential in heat mode, what happens?
It kills the engine. Instantly.
Instantly. No code 22, no second chance. It's a hard stop.
Wow. That's a massive detail for troubleshooting. So if I see a code 24 with no history of a 22, I shouldn't just assume the computer is glitching.
You should check the configuration first. It might be doing exactly what it was told to do. It puts a lot more pressure on us to get it right the first time. The safety net's gone.
Okay.
Now, one more little gotcha. This alarm. It can't be set if the unit is operating in the frozen set point range. Why is that?
Well, that makes sense. I mean, if you're set for -20, you're not really running a full heat cycle to warm up frozen goods. The logic is just different.
Correct. Code 24 is strictly for perishables, stuff where too cold is just as bad as too hot.
Okay, so the unit is down, code 24 is flashing, the driver is staring at me. My first instinct is to clear the alarm and see if it fires up, just to verify.
The clear and pray method.
Yeah.
Classic rookie move.
Yeah.
Listen, code 24 is stubborn. It's a manual clear only. It won't go away on its own. And if the fleet is really serious, they might have limited alarm resets active.
Is that what triggers guarded access?
Yep. Think of guarded access like a padlock on the delete button. The engineers know code 24 is a big deal. They don't want a driver just clearing it at a truck stop and cooking the load or the engine.
So it forces you to stop and think.
It prevents the lazy fix. It forces a technician to get involved. So you can't just clear it, you have to fix it. This is where I grab my gauge manifold. Right?
Not so fast. Put the gauges away. This is the 21st century. We don't guess, we verify. The first tool you grab is your laptop. We need the data.
You want me to download the service watch data using WinTrack.
Specifically WinTrack. For anyone listening, WinTrack is the software that talks to these units. It's the black box flight recorder. It sees things your gauges will never, ever see.
Okay, so I'm downloading the data. I'm looking at the technician user level, I assume.
That's where the gold is. And here's the secret sauce. Do not just look at the last 5 minutes. You need to go back in time to the exact moment the alarm was set. You need to see the crime scene as it happened.
Right, not how it looks now that the body is cold.
Exactly. Right now, the unit's off. Pressures are equalized. Temperatures are static. It tells you nothing.
Okay, so I've got the graph up. I'm zoomed in on the time of the shutdown. What's the very first thing I'm verifying?
Well, based on the definition of the alarm, I need to prove if the unit was right or wrong. So I check the delta T. I'd look at the zone return air sensor and the discharge air sensor.
And what are you looking for?
A contradiction. The unit was in heat mode, so the discharge air should be hotter than the return. If that graph shows the discharge air dropping below the return air...
Oh, the alarm is valid. Look at the slope, too. If the discharge air drops like a rock the second heat engages, that tells you something. But yeah, step 1, verify the delta T. Did the sensors actually report a cooling spread?
And if the data says return air 35, discharge air 30, while the heat icon is on.
There's your smoking gun. So let's say the data confirms it. The unit was physically cooling when it should have been heating. Now you find the cause.
Yeah.
Step 2. It's the most basic check in the book, but so many people skip it. Check the refrigerant level.
That seems almost too simple. How does low refrigerant cause a cooling differential in heat mode?
Think about the thermodynamics. For heat, you need hot gas. You need mass flow. If you're low on charge, you don't have enough gas to build the pressure you need to generate heat.
So the compressor's just pumping vapor, but there's no substance to it.
Exactly. You might get a little bit of movement, maybe enough to drop the pressure, but not enough to create heat. It can create this weird state where the expansion actually cools the sensor slightly. So check the sight glass. Is the ball floating?
Got it. Check the fluids. What's step 3?
Step 3 is where you can finally use those gauges you've been holding. We need to check system pressures, but you have to get the unit running to do this, so you clear the code and you watch it like a hawk.
And we're checking to see if the compressor is actually pumping.
Right. Is suction pressure dropping? Is discharge rising? If the compressor is weak or the valves are leaking, you're not going to get heat. You're validating the heart of the system.
Okay. Let's say the mechanical heart is beating fine. Pressures look okay, charge is good, but the computer is still throwing code 24.
That brings us to step 4. The sensors themselves.
Sensor grades.
Yeah.
This is where a lot of trainees get glazed eyes.
Explain it to me. What is a sensor grade really? Why do we do it?
It's about resistance. Thermistors change resistance based on temperature. But, manufacturing isn't perfect. One sensor might have slightly different characteristics than another. So we grade them, usually grade 1 or grade 2, to tell the microprocessor how to interpret the signal it's getting.
Perfect. It's a calibration offset. So now imagine you replace a sensor, you put a new one in, but you forget to update the grade in the microprocessor. The old one was grade 1, the new one is grade 2.
The computer's going to read the temperature wrong.
It's doing math with bad numbers. That 3 or 4 degree variance is enough to trick the logic. The unit could be heating perfectly fine, but the brain thinks the discharge air is colder than the return because of that bad calibration.
It's a false alarm caused by, a clerical error?
Exactly. So step 4 is crucial. Verify the sensor grades in the configuration match the tags on the physical wires. Don't assume. Look.
Okay, moving on. Step 5. This one's less about the machine and more about the environment. Airflow.
The invisible killer. I have seen seasoned techs replace compressors because of this.
The source material mentions short cycling. Can you, paint a picture of what that actually looks like inside the trailer?
Sure. Imagine you're the discharge air. You shoot out of the unit, ready to warm up the trailer, but 2 feet in front of you, someone stacked a wall of pallets right to the ceiling.
I hit the wall.
You hit the wall, and you bounce right back into the intake. The return air sensor, which is right there, suddenly feels a blast of hot air, even though the rest of the trailer is freezing.
Or in this case, maybe the turbulence just confuses the sensors.
Exactly. If the air can't move, the heat exchange can't happen properly, the sensors get erratic readings, the computer expects a certain relationship between those two numbers. If you block the flow, you break the relationship.
So open the back doors, look at the chute, look at the load.
And look for a collapsed chute. If that vinyl chute has collapsed, you're suffocating the unit. It's trying to breathe through a straw.
Okay, we've checked data, charge, pressure, sensors, and airflow. The unit still fails. That leaves us with the hardware. Step 6, the valves.
The solenoids, the muscles of the operation. We need to verify the refrigeration valves are actually shifting.
Right, so I can cycle them in service test mode. I go in the menu, select the valve, hit on, and listen for the click.
And that is where you fail, trainee.
What? Excuse me.
Listening for the click tells you the coil is working. It tells you the magnet engaged. It does not tell you if the plunger inside the valve actually moved.
Ah, it could be mechanically stuck.
It could be full of debris and jammed in the cool position. You can click it all day long. You're never getting heat.
I see. So electrically it's fine, but mechanically it's a brick. How do I verify the plunger moved?
You touch the pipe.
Touch the pipe.
Carefully, obviously. But if you open a hot gas valve, that pipe should get hot immediately. If you hear a click but the pipe stays cold, your valve is stuck. Or watch your gauges. You should see a pressure change. You need physical confirmation.
That makes perfect sense. If the valve is stuck in cool but the computer is commanding heat, that is the literal definition of code 24.
Precisely. And that's pretty much the end of the line. If you've gone through data, charge, sensors, airflow, and valves, you will find the problem. It's one of those 5 things.
It's just a logical process of elimination.
It has to be. Because we aren't just clearing a light, we are preventing a shutdown.
You know, going back to what you said earlier about restarts disabled,
Yeah.
that really sticks with me.
How so?
It's a whole philosophy, isn't it? It makes you wonder, if you're a fleet manager, do you trust your machines enough to let them try to fix themselves? Or do you disable restarts because you just don't trust the code? That one checkbox tells you everything about a company's tolerance for risk.
It does. It's the difference between I trust this machine to limp home, and if it's not perfect, I want it dead. And as a technician, you have to respect that choice. When you see that setting, you know you have to be perfect too.
So to recap the senior tech method for code 24, don't panic. Don't just clear it.
Download the data.
See the moment of death. Check your thermodynamics, the charge and the flow. Check your math with the sensor grades, and then check your mechanics with the valves.
And for the love of the trade, open the trailer doors and look for cardboard walls.
I'll keep that in mind. Thanks for the lesson.
Anytime. Keep your sensors graded and your condensers clean. We'll see you on the next deep dive.
Stay safe out there.